Hello and welcome, as today's date is in that of the 13th of December 2018, and I want to talk about cross of TPay / Litecoin. And it hasn't been around for that long. This is going back to, September. September 5th, September 6th. And this is the single hour time frame. It trades right now at relatively decent volume. Its 24-hour statistics has 30 Litecoin, and compared to the rest of the field in which is available, well, let's just take a look at it and search this by volume. We got Ethereum at the top, ETN. The TPay is up there amongst all of the nice ones. So I like that it has the volume towards it. I want to scroll through some of these movements as we can see. Like days like this. And what I want to do, I don't like the volume bars on here because it makes it easier to see the actual candles without them. But we can see on this particular day that the low was in at 16 and the high was at the 22 handle. 6 into 16 is about a 40% volatile move, which meant sell orders would get executed. I'm going to scroll this over like this, and we can see here that not much happened over that period. Price action went on the earlier part of this at a high of 17 down to 14 at the end of this run. We can see it's going to start to go up here, but the small pullback was still a loss of about 18%. And then the market goes and has its rally better than double. Continuing on even further, we can see some of these interesting moves like this day here. We have a low at the 23, and then 2 days later, or 2 hours later rather, up to 32. Again, a 30% pullback, this low to this high within the day. Great trading opportunities that come available. We can see here on this period it goes up to 35 and then back down to 30, so a 15% move. But even still, if you're like, yeah, I don't want to buy back at 15%, well, what that would mean, maybe you're fortunate enough to have a sell order near 35, and if you're looking to buy back at a, say, around well, even here you can see, well, I don't want to buy back at the 30, but when it comes down to maybe 27, you might want it to, or want to, that is. We can see here just markets moving, okay, but we'll move in now and see how the volatility plays out. 35 down to 25 decline in here. Nice little wick period in here and here. Not much going on there. There we can see it going just a small decline. But here we have this one period going from 22 to 26, and it's only 20%, but it's still able to get those types of plays in. Let's just take a look at it and take a look at some more of these situations. Here's the spot where it had the phenomenal move, and this is going back now to into November 2nd, but a low and at the 30 handle rising close to 40 for a 30% move. Nice, just going down here, seeing it go from 30 up to 40, back down to 30, back up to 40, down to 27, and then back up to 32. And this is a span of 2 weeks. And here we have it going down to 25, up to 40. But even throughout some of these moves, we can see in here. Here you have just a nice move overall. That's going from 32.5 to 40. That's a differential of 7.5. So over 20%, and it happens. And if you're fast enough to be able to catch this, that means you see if you're able to sell the upper part, it comes back down. If you're able to buy it back immediately or within enough time before this were to occur, you could put your sell orders back in again. And if we just put the volume bar back on, we can see, I mean, there's a high amount of volume here. So therefore, there's a lot of people that had their sell orders get filled. The volume, you can see here that it was well over 800, 500 down to 38, then 8, then 0. And that means some people just make decent size buys. And they can do that, of course, with the sells in the other direction. Here's another spot in which it occurred. And if we just move to where we stand right now, this thing is most certainly very active. Because here we have just 6 days ago, the price goes from 25 up to about 30, close to 40, pulls back down to 30, back again close to 40, and then earlier today it pulled back down to about the 25 handle, and now it's back to the 30. If we take a look at the bid-ask ratio in here, we got 30 handle to 290, so not the worst of bid-ask. There's a lot of bots on here. I got this sell order right here at 302. I'm selling 16. I'm trying to. Anyway, I got 60 and a half up for sale. I'm not going to try to outbid these people by any means. But if we look at the sums in here, if somebody decided to spend like 15 Litecoin worth, they would buy this up to the 0.05 handle. And that's why we see this happens, because it's realistic that someone could do it. Now, it could be a mistake bid. Maybe it's inexperience. Either way, if it happens, it happens for these types of moves. And in here, I mean, it doesn't take too much to sell this down so that you have the decent size up and down moves. Now, I've been playing this. I'm going to put my spreadsheet for a little while now, but not that long. And in fact, you're looking at every transaction. There's only been 16, and technically, I mean, this is like 1. But either way, what we're looking at here is the entry point at 278. It's now down to about 210 price against Bitcoin. So I started trading this against Bitcoin, and I did so on the date of November the 8th. So I've been in this for just a little over a month. And what happened was the next day it fell to 24, then it fell to 21, sold at 23, bought at 21, sold at 24, sold again at the 278, bought back at 244, then I sold at 270, bought back at 244, bought some more at the 230, and then I transferred over to Litecoin. So I would sell it at the 33, bought at 28, took 2 orders here, sold at 34. That earlier move today, I was able to buy at that 25 handle. So statistically speaking, I'm down, but not much. For I have bought 128.5 for 0.03. I have bought 41.5 with Litecoin for 108 Litecoin. I have sold 41 and 2/3 and for a little over 0.01. And 28.8 for almost 1 Litecoin, which means I have 99.5 of these coins that are worth, at the time of this video, 0.0205 Bitcoin. I have spent negative 0.022 Bitcoin, and I'm down negative 0.09 Litecoin for this value, which means overall I'm down 0.002, and I started off with like 0.0188. So therefore, that means I'm down about 11.2% when the market is down 33. But when we look at the early results within the Litecoin, I have bought 41 and a half of these almost for 1.08. And then I sold 28.8, a decent noticeable differential, 13.6 of the 41 that I bought, I've held on to. And I haven't spent that much more. 1.09 compared to 0.099, that's only like 10% more on that differential. So we can see here that I'm able to get the aggressive plays. So when I'm able to sell at 35 and buy back at 25, well, that was a very big differential. And normally, if I would play this, I would look to buy back maybe at the 28 handle. not the 25. But what I did, and what I like to do a lot of times, is look at the order book. And within such, I can see in here, okay, so where's a decent spot to put buy orders? And in here, we can see right at 240. Somebody wants to buy 8 of them. And again at 240, someone wants to buy 2.5. So that means I would be looking to put buy orders in, well, just a little north of that number. Of course, now since I got my 250 buy already in place, and that's why I knew I could just go a little above that, that's why I took that 250 number, then that would work out. Now, if I were to get my sale come in, where am I putting my bid? Yeah, back at the 250 number. And that would be now the conclusion of this video. Again, trading against this Litecoin, I think has, better EV returns. And EV stands for expected value, or plus EV, even EV. That's plus a negative EV, positive EV, meaning equal value. So positive means you're profitable, negative means you're not doing so well. But I think I get a better positive result via playing this because of all of these beautiful moves. Now, what this market hasn't had, I'm not going to say yet because there's no guarantee it's going to happen, are those really big, insane moves where someone really buys or sells it large, buys it up 6x, 5x, 10x, and same thing on the way down, but they are available. So I'll put a decent amount of orders in, not many, like 4 sell orders depending on the market. This is a minimum bet for me. So I only want to put like maybe 4 sell orders, 2 buy orders, 3 buy orders in maybe, because I'm looking for the 10x moves. If I can buy what I already own at a tenth of the price for what it's worth, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to say deal to a situation like that. But it's just having the orders in and being ready to have them come into place. And one example is I'm not trading PivX, at least yet, against this Litecoin cross. And it doesn't trade for good volume on here, but you can still actually end up trading it on here for good profitability. That's a different subject as far as, I'll talk about that in a different video. When you have lower volume moves, like markets that trade at an average of under 2 or 3 Litecoin a day, even 1 Litecoin a day, it's just, or lower days, I shouldn't say average, I should say the low days. And when the actual market picks up for something of low volume, then I can do well. But I got a buy order in there because I want to accumulate, but I'm waiting for the price to drop on such. And this is a token pay one. Overall, as far as this market is going, it's got the direction that I'm looking for. It's just going choppy big time. And breaking the range, as you can see, the bottom end, upper end of the support, we could be having decent sized moves. This can have a 7, 10, 20, 50, 100x move anytime it wants, because the coins people don't trade much and haven't heard much about are the ones more likely to have extreme moves of that type of variety when you're talking about greater than 10x. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.